Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, where it's all about creating the life you want, the business you want, and making a real difference. Join us in unlocking the code to true success. And now your host, Tony Caliendo, Master Coach with reTHINK Coaching.
Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, episode number 52. I'm Tony Caliendo, Master Coach here at reTHINK Coaching. And as always, thanks for being here. I truly appreciate it. Time is our greatest asset. And the fact that you're willing to invest time with me truly does mean so much. So thanks for being here. Today, I want to talk about something that I've been observing for a while. And I've been making notes and just wanting to make sure it wasn't just a one-off, that it's something that I'm witnessing over and over, and I am. And so I feel it's important to have this conversation with you today. What I'm noticing, and I really have the privilege of talking to entrepreneurs, real estate agents across the country, in other countries, in our one-on-one sessions, in group sessions, invited as guest speaker, running masterminds. And I say that just to get you into where I am, where I'm witnessing more and more people not having the business or the life that they desire or want to have. And so when that's happening, it's more than just one or two. When there's a number of people who are experiencing their business being off, of course, the coach in me wants to dive in a little bit and figure out what the heck is going on. What I've noticed with a lot of folks is that their business is not great and it is matching their attitude. And I don't mean that in a snarky way, and I don't mean it in a judgmental way, but I think sometimes we forget the power of our attitude and the connection between our attitude and our success. And whether that success is your business, whether it is your wealth, whether it is your life, whatever that is, there is a direct connection between your attitude and what you are experiencing, because your attitude is a vibration, and the vibration is either going to repel or it's going to attract. It's that simple. Yet so much of the time, we really, as human beings who run businesses and human beings having a life experience, there's a lot of times that we don't just take a step back and say, how is my attitude? What is going on? And because of that bad attitude can result in bad business. That bad attitude can result in a less than life. That bad attitude can result in bad finances. And that is one of our indicators. So as I've been talking to people and I've been inviting people into private sessions and I've been inviting small groups to have conversation with, that is one of the common denominators when somebody's got a bad business is attitude. And so I think it could be happening for a couple of reasons. And I've talked about this before, but I'm going to talk about it again. There's this thing called gradually and then suddenly. Gradually, this was going on. Suddenly, I don't have any business. Gradually, blah, blah, blah. Suddenly, I'm in a really bad marriage. Gradually, this is going on. Suddenly, I'm filing for bankruptcy. Okay, that's just kind of how things happen. That's an extreme, but that's how things happen. It could be little things too, like gradually I was eating cookie every day and suddenly my pants don't fit, right? It took a little while for it to happen, and it feels like it was suddenly, but it was gradually. So we might be experiencing right now, suddenly we are in a bad space with our attitude, but it may have been happening gradually. And I'm going to share some thoughts as to why I think this is what it is right now. I've been an entrepreneur for over 23 years, and I was raised by entrepreneurs. There was a moment when I was employed by a phenomenal company, Marriott Hotels, and I was a corporate employee, and it was fabulous. But for the most part, I've been an entrepreneur, and I've experienced a lot of ebbs and flows with the economy, with things that are going on in the business world that can have an impact on us. And I will say this, the last 18 months in the industries that I am in the most have probably been some of the more challenging if we allow it. So I'm going to take an example. I'm going to take the real estate lane. A lot of my entrepreneurs that I work with are really successful real estate leaders. successful agents or agents who have a desire to be successful. Over the last 18 months, this industry has seen a lot of change, from interest rate spikes to economic concerns to consumer confidence to low inventory to escalating prices, preventing first-time home buyers from getting in the market, from not enough buyers, not enough sellers. It's been big. And then as of late, we've had a massive change in the way business is conducted through a lawsuit settlement through the National Association of Realtors. So this has been exposure over the last 18 months. This could be where things have been happening, shoes have been dropping, dominoes have been falling, that gradually, our attitude's been impacted. And as things change, because as human beings, we don't always love change. Now, I love change. I've learned to love change, whether it's good change or bad change. I've learned to accept it and just know that's part of life and part of business. But as things have changed and people are not equipped to handle it, you may find that members in your industry have kind of crappy attitudes because they've allowed the exterior noise to impact them. They've allowed that exterior stuff to get into their head, which has impacted their attitude, which is now impacting their business, and they don't understand why their business is crappy. Well, check your attitude. So I think it's like this for a lot of industries right now because of the same reasons. There's been some economic unrest. There's been some worldwide unrest. There has been a lot of stuff happening. So if your result, your business, your life, your money, your relationship, whatever it is not great, I'm going to invite you to look at your attitude, because that's what I am finding over and over and over again as I'm talking to people who are not experiencing the result they want, that it starts with attitude. Bad attitude equals bad business team. Negative attitudes towards life, yourself, others is going to have a negative impact on your business and money. It's the vibration. It is what you are putting out is what you're going to attract. And so just know that attitude impacts everything. Normally, I tell you thoughts affect all results, right? Thoughts drive all results. Well, guess what has an impact on your thoughts? Your attitude. So this is really, really important. If you are right now experiencing less than results, if you're going on sales calls and not converting, if your lead generation is not netting you the same results that it used to, I would say it could be a skills issue, but right now what I'm finding mostly is it's an attitude issue that we just have to make a couple tweaks on. And once that changes, the vibration changes, you start attracting great things and your business gets back on track. So do a little self-check. Look and see where you are. Look at your results first, and then we can make some decisions based upon the results you're having. I will share with you, because you guys know that I'm very, very, very transparent. I've been in this field of working on this, right? It's mind with it's thought strategies with business strategies that really make success. And I can tell you that because I've experienced success because I've been working on this for decades. And for me, I remember the exact moment when I became aware that my attitude maybe wasn't the best. And there's I don't want to say weirdness because I don't want anybody to feel weird, but there is an oddity to sometimes when we are in a negative space, it's really easy to find others in that same space that you can have that low level energy conversation with at the water cooler. Oh my God, nobody's buying or selling. Oh my Lord, interest rates are going to kill business for us. These changes, nothing's like it used to be. We tend to find this because our attitude has gone down, and energetically, vibrationally, we're attracting those other people to us. It's just like a magnet. And so once I started becoming aware of this, I started realizing how much time I was spending with others that had the same low vibrational attitude. And it was really easy to be around them because it feels really good when people agree with you. It feels really good. And when I first started making these changes, and I'm going to say this, and I don't want anybody to get weirded out by this or think what a jerk, some of my relationships changed. In fact, a lot of my relationships changed because as my vibration changed, I was repelling what I didn't want anymore and attracting to me what I did want. I can remember talking to my coach and making these changes. I remember saying to her, this is just showing up out of the blue. It's the strangest thing. Stuff is showing up. People are finding me. My phone's ringing. People are calling to do business with me. Things are just happening. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it was an ad I placed on social media or a post I did. And she kindly reminded me that my vibrational energy had changed and I was going to be attracting what I was putting out. So if I'm putting out negative, I'm attracting negative. If I'm putting out positive, I'm attracting positive. And when I started to get I started to realize the massive importance of managing my attitude. And I've done this a couple of ways. I'm not saying that this is what you need to do, but I always share with what I've done. Early on, I started limiting my exposure to negative things. Now, I was still watching the news, still listening to the news. And so there was still some impact of some negative stuff coming into my world. But I remember really distinctly one of the best examples of this was during COVID. And it was right when things were kind of, ratcheting up with that. And I remember I was sitting watching the news and I remember hearing this ominous music and they came on with the COVID report for the day. How many new cases, how many new deaths, how horrible it was going to be, how long it was going to last. And I realized in that moment, that was impacting my attitude. I was hearing this and it was causing fear. It was causing me to think nobody was going to, people were going to die and businesses were going to collapse and our world economy was going to just shut down. As soon as I stopped listening to that, our business took off and I took control over my attitude. And honestly, I couldn't change COVID. I couldn't change what was happening. So was it irresponsible to watch the news or not watch the news? I don't think so. Some people judge. That's fine. That's your opinion. For me, it created the space for me to have a different outlook and a different attitude. And that one thing changed everything. We flourished during COVID, during a time when a lot of businesses did not, because we stepped out of the bad attitude and stepped into controlling it. So truly, that's probably one of the most powerful examples of my attitude had an impact on the results I received. Now, I tend to live in a space of higher vibration. And I don't say that and I don't want it to be too woo-woo or sounds a lot like the law of attraction, and it might be a little woo-woo, but I'm going to tell you it works. Having this experience in my life, in my business, is evidence that it works. There's been some things that I've done that people are like, have you lost your mind? What are you doing? Why would you go and launch your own company? Why would you go this direction? Why would you be so adamant about whatever? And it's because I've held the space of a really positive attitude and managed my thoughts that our results have been phenomenal. And I don't say that from a look at me. I just say that from a look at me, the stuff works. So you may have to really spend a moment getting right. Now, here's the hazard. You may not think your attitude sucks, right? Because you're in it. It's kind of like when you're sick and you're in denial that you're sick, but it's because it's been happening little at a time that you don't realize how sick you are until you go to the doctor and they're like, holy cow, you're really sick. That could be the same thing going on right now with your attitude. So you may have to enlist some of your really trusted good friends. And I would say I would go to the people who are experiencing success and I would ask them, honestly, what do you think about my attitude? And take the feedback. Don't judge. Don't beat yourself up. Don't justify. Don't try to rationalize why you've had a crappy attitude. Just take the feedback and go with it. And I promise you, if your business isn't good, your attitude's probably not good either. If your money situation is bad, your attitude around money is most likely bad as well. So ask your friends. Once you get the feedback, and here's what I want to say. Even if you don't want to go get the feedback, take a look at your business. Take a look at your life. Take a look at what you wanted versus what you're experiencing. If it's bad, I'm going to give you the gift of saying your attitude is bad. So now what? How do we change it? So it's going to go back, and I know this is going to shock you when I talk about this. It's going to go back to thoughts, managing your thoughts. Remember, attitude creates the energy of our thought. Remember the thought flow model, right? Thoughts, feelings, actions, results. That's a proven model that works. If you don't know that model, you're like, what's he talking about? Go back and listen to episode number 1. I do a deep dive on it and you will understand the importance of it. So number 1, if you want to change and your attitude is really kind of crummy, you can change it, and you can do it through the thoughts that you're having. So hang on to that for a moment. Like if I've got a crappy attitude, so if my attitude is one of my business is terrible, the economy is affecting my business, no one is buying my product, nobody is using me for the service that I provide. If I'm in that space, right, and that's going to impact my attitude. My attitude is like, well, why bother? I'm going to have bad results. So attitude, right, energetically impacts our thoughts. Our thoughts impact our feelings, impact the actions we take or don't take, and have a direct impact on the results we have. So if I want to change my attitude, so I'm going to give you my personal example. I could sit in a space of, oh my God, the coaching lane is just jam-packed with everybody who's a coach. And there's so many coaches, I'm never going to attract enough people into my group programs, or I'm not going to attract enough people into my one-on-one coaching. What am I doing? This is ridiculous. Coaching is become oversaturated. I'm not going to be able to be successful. That's thoughts that are going to impact my attitude, right? When the reality of it is, and welcome to the glimpse of my world, my attitude and my thought, because of my attitude about this, is simply, I just need to meet one person today that I can help. That's it. Or I just need to meet a small group of people that I can help, that need my service or my product. Because there are a lot of people out there who need you. And if you hold onto the space that it sucks, that nobody's buying or selling, that nobody's using your product or service, that your industry is oversaturated, everybody's a realtor, everybody's a coach, you're going to experience negative results. You just are. So that would be number 1, how you get to change things. Really listen to the thoughts that you're having. And if they're disempowering, your attitude's probably generating the energy around that. Change your thought, it's going to change your attitude. And so I do choose to live in the space of people need me. I do choose to live in the space I can make as much money as I want. I live in the space of there is ample abundance in the world, and my fair share or unfair share is out there waiting for me. I just need to show up. Shift in attitude changes everything. It really will have an impact on your thoughts. So if you want to have less negative thoughts, check your attitude. Check your attitude. If you need to maybe eliminate some people from your circle, from your front row, from your 5 people that you spend the most amount of time with, do it. If you need to take a news holiday for a month or 2 or 3 or 5 years like me, do it. Do what you need to do to protect that space, because it is an energy and a vibration that's going to go out to the world and bring back to you what you put out. So that's how I would say make some changes. And just know that whatever it is that is not going the way you wanted it to, whether it's money, relationship, friendship, meeting new people, if bad results are there, chances are you need an attitude adjustment. And I say that with a lot of love and compassion. And I'm going to ask you to really, really spend some time on that awareness, because a lot of times we'll check our thoughts, but we don't check our attitude. And if we don't change our attitude, it's going to continue to project out negative thoughts, which are going to fuel that whole model and get you crummy results. So if you want better results, have a better attitude. Have a better attitude. I promise you the world is a better place with it. I'm in a space in life where I've been doing this for so long that when I'm around somebody with a really crappy attitude, really crappy vibration, really crappy energy, it is like nails on the chalkboard. 15 years ago, wouldn't have been. 15 years ago, I probably would have jumped right in with them and rode that ride. But now it's really hard for me to hear it, and I pick up on it. And like I said, this is the observation I've been making for a little while, and I finally have been doing some digging with people and having honest conversations. I am seeing attitude is creating bad results because it's a bad attitude. And I want the best for you. I really do. I firmly believe whatever you want in life, whatever your goal is, if you want to make $1 million, you can make $1 million. If you Want to have an incredible business, but yet not sacrifice your life? You can have that. If you want to have an amazing marriage or relationship, you can have that. It's at your fingertips to control. You just can't be oblivious to it. You can't go on autopilot, and you got to pay attention to the gradually. They happen all the time. And I do think that the past 18 months in the business world has created the space for some gradual and suddenly of not great things if you're not aware. Now, this is what I love. There are people that are crushing it right now in their business, crushing it because they haven't allowed that stuff to impact their attitude. So you choose which lane you want to be in. The lane of vibration of attracting really great things or the lane of vibration of attracting crap. It's up to you. You get to decide. So I'm going to end with this. We've got some amazing opportunity for you within reTHINK right now. We have, as a company, held the space of offering some things for free that we've never offered for free before because I want to impact as many people as I can. That's part of my attitude. And so go check us out. Go to our website. There's some great opportunities. There's free webinars going on every week. There is free access to one of our great programs. It's a 4-week self-guided program. There's a lot of good stuff going on. If you've got questions, just reach out to me. I'm super accessible. Here's the fun thing. I'm not this invisible person that somebody else is answering my email. Somebody else is answering my DMs on Instagram and Facebook. It's me. So if you're struggling, email me, tony@rethinkcoaching.com. Send me Google me. You can find my phone number. You can find the company phone number, 949-212-3255. That comes to me. I'd be happy to help you any way I can. And as always, thanks for being here. I truly appreciate it. Cop a great attitude and great things will happen. Practice it for a week. If you don't believe me and you're that person that needs proof, go practice it for a week. Practice having a great attitude. Practice the thoughts that support a positive attitude. Have a positive attitude. It will support the thoughts. Go do it for 1 week, and I promise you things will happen that you can't even imagine are possible. And it's just the way the world works. But you got to work at it. You can't just stand and look at a mirror and chant that you're going to make $1 million. You've got to do some other work around it. So reach out to me if you have any questions. Always here to help you out. I always want you to have the best life, the best business, the best whatever you desire. Talk to you next week. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, you must come check out the Mindset Architect Group Coaching Program. It's our monthly program where we explore the power of your mindset, help you identify what you truly want in business and life, and then help you reach those goals. Come check us out at rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. That's rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. We'll see you there.